So I am here with Garth and Stacy. Maxim. Which one is it?
Maxim.
Maxim from New York. They are a husband, wife, couple entrepreneur team that have you started, ran, and not almost done selling an RV rental business.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What did you guys do before you got into this venture?
Corporate America.
Yeah.
I spent almost 20 years in telecom.
Oh, did you? Okay. How about you, Stacy?
I worked health insurance for a long time, and then once we had kids, I was a stay-at-home mom for different periods or worked different part-time jobs.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Is this the first setup where you guys work side by side, like as husband
Yes.
wife team? Okay.
And we're still married, so that's good.
And you're still married, yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. That's my wife finally just fired me from being my accountant. We did several different businesses together, but it kind of just got to the point with us homeschooling, 4 kids, full-time RVers, I was like, okay, we're gonna hire an accountant now. So
We've talked about it, but we haven't gone that far yet.
yeah.
I mean, COVID was really what drove us to the business.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Well, I mean, we had even started renting out our own personal RV prior to COVID. We started this in 2019. So we started by just renting out our own unit the summer of 2019, and it was really successful. So that's where we, that after that summer, we started thinking about okay, how can we turn this into a business? And started to think of, how we could get more units and rent those out.
Okay. So now what started your RV rental journey then? Like what gave you the idea to start renting out your RV?
Yeah, I think I just always the type of person to look for different opportunities. And I think, I just seen things about RVshare or different rental platforms online. And it kind of, put the bug in my head of, oh, we already have an RV, maybe we should start renting it out to make money. At that point, I was at home with our 3rd child. He was not even 1 yet, was he?
Yeah, he was 1.
Was he?
He
Okay.
just turned 1.
Yeah, so he had just turned 1. I was a stay-at-home mom at that point and just wanted, a little extra income coming in and something to occupy myself. So that's, why we started renting out our camper.
Okay. So I'm just curious, do you remember, did you see something on Facebook or Google or?
Probably Facebook.
Okay.
Kind of where I spend most of my time scrolling.
Uh-huh. And probably like a RVshare ad, you think was the first one you saw?
Yeah, or possibly someone talking about it. I think your cousin at one point was talking about renting it out. Alicia.
I don't remember that, but I know that was the summer we were actually in the market. We're looking at buying a new 5th wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So there was probably a lot of ads that were popping up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, so that probably
Once we started searching.
You probably fit the demographics of RVshare, and so their Facebook ad kind of popped up.
Yeah.
In front of you. Yeah, I think that probably makes sense. That's probably pretty common. I mean, the way I fell into it probably wasn't like most. So I'm always curious to hear how a lot of people fall into it. I'm guessing that's how a lot of people, and nowadays, even outdoorsy, heck, you go to book a campsite at what is it, a KOA campground, and they got outdoorsy ads on their website because they have now and stuff like that. So now it's just everywhere.
Yeah, and I know in the beginning, when I had discussed it with Garth, he was totally against it. He didn't want anyone else in our camper. He was nervous, about the type of people it would attract, or if we would have damages to the camper. But I mean, now fast forward 3 years and we have a brand new, well, we bought it brand new, a 2020 Grand Design fifth wheel that's what, worth 50-60,000 when we bought it. And we rented it out a couple months after we bought it.
I think it was once you took the personal attachment, the emotion out of it, and just looked at it as a business, it was a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a key word you just said there, the emotion. Like, because you think
Yeah.
about it, RV, it's almost like that's like a huge connection point for families. And that's usually
Sure.
like the motivation of why you buy one, right? Like, we're going to sit around the campfire with our kids and have a blast and create memories and,
Mhm.
you know, go on walks around the campground and talk. Yeah. So to start with that emotion and all the memories that are connected with that, and then say, oh yeah, sure, Joe Blow, you can sleep in my bed for $170 a night. Why not? You know, so
Right.
yeah. Yeah. I remember with my sister-in-law, when I started managing other people's RVs, I reached out to her and that was her deal. She's like, yeah, no one's sleeping in my bed. And that's kind of what I found to be like the biggest objection of people like not renting their camper out is like, yeah, no one's sleeping in my bed. No one. Yeah, no, thanks. Not happening.
Yeah. But I mean, we found everyone's really respectful with our property. I mean, we've only had a few minor repairs we've had to do with our RV, which is stuff that our kids have broken themselves when we've been in it too, is like the refrigerator door handle needed to be replaced. I mean,
a lot of minor
yeah.
stuff. Just wear
Yeah.
and tear, really.
Probably more the quality of how they make these things than
Yeah,
Yep,
definitely.
than users.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you think about it, like when you go camping, like part of the reason we go, it's typically people of the same mindset and they're outdoorsy and it's family oriented. And it's not like, you know, it's very rarely that you go to a campground and there's people just trash out of their minds, partying, acting like idiots, you know.
Mhm.
So that's the kind of people that go. You know, you might have like a tent site area and there's some younger couples there partying for
college
the
kids,
weekend,
yeah.
but somebody that's going to spend $1,000 to go camping for X amount of days, you know, they're going to be respectful and with a security deposit. So,
Mhm. And
yeah.
even like renting on the platforms, I think the insurance requires the people to be 25 years or older. So I mean, right there, it, you know, weeds out the younger demographic that might not be as respectful. So I mean, you're getting, you know, people that are,
A little more mature.
yeah, more mature and have families of their own.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. So what would your piece of advice be, or what do you guys have like as far as expectations, being the husband, wife, couplepreneur? There's this thing on Facebook right now. It's called couplepreneurs or something like that. It's this whole training course and events. And what would you guys say? Like, what's the most exciting thing about working together and what's the hardest thing about working together?
I mean, the most exciting, I think, just being able to create our own schedules and have time together. You know, right now during our slow season, while the kids are in school, we're able to go have breakfast or lunch together and have that time. So, you know, just having that time together, we don't have to worry about Garth getting home from work after, you know, a 10-hour day. And just, you know, we get more time with the kids too.
Yeah, I've definitely, since we started, I got our youngest, I've got to see him grow
Wow.
through the ages that I missed with my first two. And that's rewarding in itself.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Yeah, that really is. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's why a lot of people take the leap into becoming entrepreneurs, because you get your schedule back, you get your time back. You know, there's definitely lots of things to learn about, you know, sales and marketing and communication and conflict resolution and accounting and bookkeeping, all that kind of stuff. But it's so worth it just for that one word you said, Garth, just to get your time back. Yeah, for sure. Okay, now give me the ugly side. What's the hardest part? You know, Garth is like, I'm gonna be quiet here. He's learned.
No,
That's
I
what Garth has
mean-
learned.
We're very different, so I feel like I like to just get things done and Garth.
I have a process in my
Yeah.
head where I can't move on to C until A and B are done. Where she's working all three of them at the same time.
Yeah, so I think to mitigate that, what we've learned throughout the years is he's responsible for certain aspects of the business and I'm responsible for certain aspects of the business. And we each kind of lead those, and then ask for help when needed.
Okay.
So on my side, I would be responsible for, getting all the campers cleaned. I'd be responsible for the inquiries coming in and more the back end office stuff. And then Garth, he would, do the deliveries, meet with the customers and do the walkthroughs. And yeah, do any repairs and maintenance on the units. So I think splitting the responsibilities helped a lot, because then we could kind of stay in our own lane and not, go back and forth on everything.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely. Yeah, it's kind of the same with like parenting, right? You've got the overall plan together of how you're going to parent the kids, but certain things, there's a boo-boo, well, that's mom's job, or all right, the kids are getting out of bed still. All right, that's dad's job. He can lay down the heavy voice, and then they all
drag
fall
him
in line.
out.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, one more question here. So you guys both kind of came from corporate jobs. You were saying full-time jobs. Income wise, would you say that you have taken a reduce in income, same amount of income, increase in income, like lifestyle has changed?
I initially it was a big shock. Obviously, I know when I left the corporate world, my annual income dropped considerably, but I think we made up for it. It took a little time, a little work. I think we're pretty much right back where we were when we started. Or I should say when we left.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So which is a good point, really, because I talked to a lot of people stepping into the entrepreneurial journey, and it is kind of a step of faith. It's like you're trading one for the other. Okay, our income's going to drop. We're going to get our time and some freedom back. But then now it's up to us. We have the capability to get our income back to where we want it to be or greater. I'm sure you guys could, if you desired, you could make much more, but you would start to sacrifice then, right? Time with family.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, during the height of the rental season, I'm out probably a good 12 hours a day, easy. But then I can kind of, well, how do I say that? I can, the schedule is still flexible enough where I can pick the hours I'm out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you figure, for us, because we're in upstate New York, campgrounds are only open 6 months out of the year. So we might be really busy those 6 months, but then the other 6 months, we have time to do whatever we want. And that's really when we can focus on family, our own travels. So, it's just really balancing. In our case, it's seasonality. But I mean, in other people's areas where they're, open year round with rentals, they can schedule it so that they don't have as many rentals during, one period of time, so that they have, more free time, throughout the year.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then we'll close up here. But so Garth, you actually, out of this journey, you have become an RV tech, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay. What?
Yeah, I mean,
actually, don't answer that. We're going to make that a different video. So if you guys want to hear the story of how Garth went from corporate America to jumping into the RV rental industry to becoming a RV repair tech, and we're going to join us in the next video here and we'll go over that together. we'll keep them waiting, Garth.
Very good.
All right. Well, hey guys, thanks so much for your time, and congratulations on not only starting and building an RV rental management company, but here in a couple of weeks, you'll have successfully sold an RV rental company, and you'll be on to your next chapter of life.
Bigger and better things.
Yeah, thank
Yep.
you. We're excited.
Yeah, excited for you guys, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. But not really bye.